All right. Let's see what the state of the world is. Hey, how's it going, guys? Let me know how the stream quality is. It's complaining. So, let's see. Let me know if the audio is okay. It is good? All right. YouTube's giving me complaints. So we'll see. They can't all be great. Sometimes, yesterday we had audio hardware complaining. Today it might be the streaming hardware. We'll see. I think it's okay. So hey, welcome to the stream. My name's Luke. This is Synth Seeker for January. What we're going to do tonight is I've got a recipe out there for doing Berlin School that you may or may not have seen, but it involves little teeny patterns. And what I wanted to cover tonight was put some background here. There we go. All right. So given this little stream, this little chord being held in the background, one of the things I wanted to cover tonight was what do you do when you start from nothing, when you have no pattern going. So if I bring this up, hey Wabbit, Dan, Dawson, Maltus, nice, my case, welcome back. For those of you, if it's like 2 a.m. where you are, go to bed. You can watch this recorded tomorrow. The weekend will be much more better during the day for people in Europe. But what I wanted to cover today was, hey Garen, what do you do when you're at the beginning, right? People go, how do I make a pattern? And I've covered that in some videos, but I thought it would be fun to just do here today. So I've got this chord being held here. And I've got 4 voices. 4 voices. You want to enjoy the live event? Okay. 4 voices, potentially. I've got one playing right now, and it's playing a single note. Right? So that's a 1-note sequencer, right? Let me up it to 2. So now I've got 2 of them playing, and they're playing the same note, so it sounds the same. Greetings from Southern Colorado. Nice. Hi, Kenny. So what we're doing is we're working in C minor. So this is playing a C. And if we start changing our notes, that's C and D. So now we're using a 2-step sequence. And you can play with these things, right? While the sequence is running, just mess around with the notes that are there, be it in your DAW or on hardware or in the chord you're playing if you're using an arpeggiator. Now we're playing a C and an E flat. Those 2 notes. And this is only a 2-note sequence. And it still sounds pretty good, right? And what we do is we usually work in layers. So I'm going to bring in another sequence. I'm going to bring this pad down a little bit so it's easier to hear. I'm going to bring in another sequence, another voice. Good old C minor. Yep, it's the tutorial stuff. All right, so now I've got a 2-note sequence running here in C minor, playing C and E flat. Yes, a black key. This sequence over here is playing a 1-note sequence. It's just playing C's. But let's just play with that note. Let's start moving it around. Now it's playing that E flat. That's an F. It still sounds good. If you constrain the notes you select from your patterns to a particular key, in this case we're in C minor, all right, now let's add a second note to this sequence. I'm modifying the wrong sequence. There we go. So now I've got two patterns playing. They're both 2-note sequences. One's going C to E flat, right? And then this one's going, what is this one going to? It's going to G, back down to C. Let's bring that C up an octave. So one thing that's fun that you can do is while your sequence is playing, if you've got sliders or knobs for the pitches you can mess with, you can play the knob, right? You'll see people doing that while their sequence is playing. They actually change the note periodically to play a little melody in their sequence, right? It's totally doable. So let's change, both of these patterns have 2 notes. They're 2-stage patterns, right? So each one's got 2 notes playing. We'll make one have 3. Right, so now we've got something with a 3 pattern playing against something with a 2 pattern. I'm going to bring this up an octave. I'm going to bring that pad back in. So at this point, you've got a nice little bed running, and you can go play some melodies over it, right? So you can go to your keyboard or whatever other input device you're going to do and play some more notes out of the key. Hey, James? Put a little bass in here. So once you've got a bed running, you can start with patterns of just 1 note, right? You just get that rhythmic thing going and start adding them a little at a time. Just because you've got a 16-step sequencer or an 8-step sequencer doesn't mean it's better to use them all. Dominique, nice to see you. Kenny, I'm bad about following the chat, but I'll do my best. Just to get it out of the way. I'm a bass player by trade, not a synthesist, but I love synthesizers. All right. I like to play melodies on the bass. We are in C minor, analogous, okay? That sustain. So, like I said, there we go. That's a little too deep. There we go. All right, so I've got a pattern on the left that's playing 2 notes. That's that. We've got a pattern on 2 that's playing this. A 3-note pattern. Hey, Daniel. Daniel the dentist. Nice. And this, layering those together gets us a nice Berlin school bed. It's relatively simple. And you can reach over and change these patterns whenever you want. So let's add it. Let's make a note variation here. Right, so your performance can be literally playing the sequencer steps, just changing 1 note within the pattern over time. All right, and then as you're building up over time your piece, whatever you're playing, you can get longer and longer and longer patterns, and then start bringing them down again, right? So let's just play with that for a little bit, okay? Oh, hey, Onyx. Let's add 1 more step here. bass out for a sec. So I'm just going to run through to demonstrate pattern length. So this is a 4-step pattern. Down to 3. Down to 2. Down to 1. Okay. We'll go back up to 4. 2. 3. And 4. Change a note here. There we go. Now let's bring our other pattern back in. And our drone. And we can play a melody over it. Tend to, when you're playing melodies, repeat yourself. Play the same melody at least twice. Right? Because repetition legitimizes. If you play it twice, I'll do one more. It legitimizes it. It means the listener's brain learns it and expects it, and it's very comfortable. It likes it. It likes to be able to sing along. And then, because you keep repeating things, it gets boring, you put some variation in. So that's why you get a lot of that AABA stuff. Have the same pattern A, then a variation B, and then they'll go back to A again, which I just didn't actually do, but it was close. Sing with the bass. Yeah, I like bass melodies. Now, these patterns have been running for a while, so let's vary one of them. We're going to change. So this first one, that's just 2 notes. Let's keep the counter going, but let's change that first pattern that's only 2 notes long. We'll make it 3. So it's 3 now, okay? So let's go add some note variation to it. Easier to hear. There we go. And let's add one more note to it. Actually, let's add 2. Let's take it to 5. And I'll just throw in, I'm literally blind in the 4th and 5th stage. I'm just going to change the note to something blind. We'll change it to those 2 things. I can't hear them, but I'm just making that change. Now when I go from 3 steps to 5 steps, it might suck. We'll find out. Not bad. Let's bring in the other pattern a little bit more. That melody twice and then bury it. And then we'll play it one more time to remind the brain. Or something close to it. Now the other thing you can do, you've got these running, okay? You got this bed running. You've played some melodies over it. Maybe you've got a chord going over it. We got this drone going. There's a thing called bass reharmonization, and I've talked about this on the regular videos. But we're in the key of C minor, and these patterns are running. And they're pretty fixed. I don't have any stochastic or generational stuff in here. I don't have any randomness driving this right now. So these patterns are relatively static. They're not going to change over time. Well, you can change the harmonization of them by just putting a different drone either over it or under it, right? That's the one we're familiar with. That's C. That's the root of the key. Those patterns still work with this note, B flat or A flat. So I'm reharmonizing those chords. I'm forcing your ear to hear a different chord just by changing one note of the world that's going on right now. Back to the root, it resolves, and your brain's like, I'm home. So when you see me fiddle around with the bass stuff, you'll also see me always tend to land back on home to resolve it all, to end it all, right? Back home. And even if you're doing fast stuff, you can sustain. It also gives you a little breathing room, because I'll hit the sustain pedal, I can let go, and I can think about what do I want to do next. So you'll see me play some melodies with one hand, hold it out, repeat. So let's play with our patterns some more. Let's listen just to the first pattern. So I've got this one high, this doubled high note out there, right? That's, you can think of that as like an accent. I didn't intend to put that out there. I just threw some notes out there and that happened to be that one. So let's play with that pitch. Let's bring it down a little bit. I like that one. That's a little closer. Hey, Nano. Welcome. So another thing you can do that certainly with, I'm going to do this, take advantage of the Metropolis here. It's got a feature that'll let us change the pitches, add a little controlled randomness to it, right? So I'm going to take that note and I'm going to say every time you loop around to that note, I want you to change its pitch slightly. I want you to move it in the key, keep it in the key, but move it up or down, all right? So we'll go... All right, so I'm telling it, every time you play, play the original note, but the second time go up 1. Now I'm going to say go up 2. Right? And those aren't piano notes. Those aren't half steps. They're not keys on the keyboard that's going up. It's going up what's called a scale degree. If you look at all the 7 notes in a scale, you can number them 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Those numbers are called scale degrees. And so when you tell a sequencer, if it is aware of keys and scales, to change a scale degree, it's going to move a note up 1 or down 1, but it's going to move it enough so that it stays within the key and still sounds relevant. Let's go a little further. Let's go down, actually. There we go. Let's bring our other pattern back in. Now, another thing I'm going to do to vary this a little bit further is it's looping through about twice, and then it's resetting. All right, that's why our little variation is going boom, boom, just down, and then it resets, and then it goes down again. I'm going to give it enough time to loop a few times to keep going down. Let's see, here we are here. Am I editing the right pattern? Yes, I am. All right. There it is. So we've got 3 different pitches now instead of just 2. Let's go a little bit more. I'll make it easier to hear. I'll have it go up. And that's reset, and it's going to start rising again. Because it's going up by single scale degrees, it's going to walk through the scale basically. It's hard to harmonize with that sometimes. So I'm going to tell it to go a little bit faster. There we go. Ignoring the chat. Let's see here. Hey, Mike. some point in time, one of these days, I'm going to come home early enough from work that I can set up one of the other synths in this room to the push, because I don't play the keys very well. I can play in key, but you're not going to see me jamming the way I jam on the bass on a piano keyboard. But I've got a PPG over behind the screen there, and if I can MIDI that up to the push here, I'm hoping I can jam out on the bass, but also jam out on keys, because, you know, the bass is a VST, so technically it is a synth, but I'd like to jam with some synth tunes, you know, be able to, right, I want to be able to go like... So imagine that, like, but on a Moog lead. That would be more fun, right? We are approaching the end. All right, so I'm going to start pulling it in. So 30 minutes, surprisingly, is a lot less time than I thought it would be. So what's going to happen probably this weekend is the streams on the weekend. Let me pull this in. That's the one thing. When you get the patterns going sometimes and you're into it, you lose the ability to speak. All right. Now, I thank you, Malthus. I would like to continue, but I promised a friend who's also streaming tonight that I try not to run into his stream time. So, but what's happening is it's 8 p.m. U.S. Eastern, Monday through Friday. Saturdays and Sundays, though, I think I'm going to run at 9 a.m. U.S. Eastern, which is like mid-afternoon for people in Europe. And still okay, I think, for Asia Pacific, because I got some friends in Australia and friends in Thailand. So Saturday, Sunday, if you're currently here and it's like midnight or 2 a.m. where you are, I'm really sorry. But on the weekend, it should be during your afternoon, okay? But really, that's about it. And I found that 30 minutes isn't actually enough time to play as much as I want and explain as much as I want. So the Saturday or Sunday streams might be an hour long, a little bit longer. So it is January, and doing this every day can be a burning out sort of situation, which, I don't anticipate that, especially at half an hour per stream. It's not so bad. Once January is over, I'll probably stream once a week, and on the weekend probably, and those could be fairly long. So who knows? We'll see what happens. But that's about it. And with that, I thank you for your time. It's 1 a.m. in Australia. All right, yeah. So, good God, go to bed, man. Some things are self-explained through the music itself and watching you. Yes, I know. And I try and mix and match, but I'm kind of selfish and I like to talk. So, but we'll see where it goes, Let's see, any questions? Nope. All right. Well, for those of you who stayed up this late for me, thank you. And I'll be on again tomorrow. And you don't have to catch it. It's recorded, and then there's a highlight reel, right? So if you only want to spend, if you're trying to watch all your friends' January videos, right? And you're like, I don't have, 9 hours a day to watch the daily content. Just watch, if you want to watch my stuff, you can watch the 3 to 5 minute highlight reel. Save you some time. Okay. 9 a.m. Boston is 3 a.m. in Australia. Well, 3 a.m.? Really? I guess we're just screwing over the Aussies. I'm sorry. I'll have to look at that. That doesn't seem right. Well, you're there, so. At 1 a.m. Well, can't please everyone. We'll see. Maybe we'll do Sunday at a different time. You know, give me feedback. If you feel very strongly about a time slot you prefer, if I get enough people asking for that time slot, we'll do it. All right. But right now, it's this time during the week, and weekends right now is tentatively 9 a.m. So we'll see. And I don't know. I got to talk to Simon. You'll know. Thanks, Kenny. Thanks, Garen. Oh, terrible stream rate here. Keep going, Luke. Karen. All right. I'll keep some stuff going. All right. People probably already hung up, but that's fine. Karen, you're going to have to post in here when you're good. We'll just do music at this point. All right. If you have questions, ask away, but. Thank you. Dawson, I can't see your pronouns here, but because my demographics are almost all middle-aged men, I'm going to say thank you, sir. And if you're not a sir, I apologize. A lot of middle-aged guys collect synths. Yeah, I was having some trouble with the stream as well, Garen. When I first started, it said like the condition was good. Hey, barely 40. Nano, you're an exception to the rule. You are 40, but you know how to play organ foot pedals, right? Which is different than Taurus pedals, right? The fact that you have organ skill, that's an old person skill. Hey, Sadie. I think Freebeat's got his stream running now, so if you're in here, well, I'm really flattered. Wow, that hurts, Karen. Let's change some of these patterns up a bit. Let's make them silly. In a different sound too. All right, so let's start from nothing again. So we've got a pattern running here. Little longer. All right. So the other thing I did different tonight actually was that there's actually very little reverb and very little delay, because last night I was like, has anyone ever heard of Berlin School where they don't use deep delay and heavy reverb? And nobody dropped any links, so I haven't heard it. So I'm sort of trying that tonight. The reverb is just a little room reverb, not like the black hole, and the delays are all like one little echoes. The one-step sequencer is a good thing. Good. I'm glad if that was helpful or useful. Go nuts, man. There we go. There's something interesting. Let's play with that. Let's add a big washy reverb so it'll turn into a bit of a pad. Murphy's Law. You identify as a synthesizer, you go. And wait, Dan feels attacked. Oh, I hope this is all sarcasm. I don't want anyone to feel attacked. Another one. All right, there's another one-note sequence playing. Change the octaves just a little bit. Get busy here. We'll get all four going. Sequencers have built-in pitch quantization. Absolutely. They absolutely do. I have a fetish about tuning. I only use digital oscillators for the most part in the Eurorack. In the modular, they're all digital. I don't want any drift at all. And as far as quantization is concerned, yeah, when I change pitches, I want it to snap to the next semitone or the next whatever scale degree is. So, yeah, absolutely. There is such a thing as too many patterns running at once, and I'm real close to being at that place. So let's pull it down, because your ears get fatigued. Not only they're quantized to semitone or scale degree, but I've also got a knob for quickly moving through octaves as well. Right? Let me see. What am I missing here? Boy from the 70s. Nice. Let's see. Stream rate is better now. Okay, so Garen's in a good place. I'm going to start bringing this out. Let's do 1 minute's worth of just sort of... I'll overplay the bass for a little bit. octave runs. This is another thing you do for bass reharmonization that drives a lot. If you just do eighth notes, octaves, it's like chugging. Imagine like it's like a metal guitar. Dun, 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 dun. Just do octaves, and then change the pitch off the root. Not the greatest sort of sign off, but let's pull it all out. And we're out. Let's see. You see how the pad layout, so this layout, this note mode, that's chromatic. So the yellow ones are the roots, the white ones are the in key notes, and the dark ones are the out of key notes. This is basically frets on a guitar, or a bass, really is on a bass. If you had an 8-stringed bass with 8 frets or 7 frets and an open, that's what this layout is. So the shapes that you use when you're playing a bass guitar are the shapes you can use on here. And I'm a bassist by training, so playing the pads is really just doing finger tapping on a bass guitar. So there's a tip for you. If you want to learn to play grids, if you can play bass already, you can play a grid if you can tap that bass. So are the dark pads disabled? Well, you can disable them. Mine are not, because I like to play accidentals. So like root, first scale degree, I could totally play in between, right? Because then you can do, like, I don't know if you know 25 or 6/4 by Chicago. You want to be able to play those in between ones, right? So yes, Eddie, you got to practice the bass scales. We all need to practice, right? Maltus is off work tomorrow, so he can stream. All right, cool. See you, Maltus. Thank you, everyone. And Garen is good. He's in full HD. All right. So, guys, I'm going to log out. Thank you so much. I will be back again tomorrow. If I see you, great. If I don't, that's cool. And I am going to figure something out about a time slot for the weekends. So post a comment saying what you would prefer, and I will literally just add them up. And, can't make everyone happy, but I'll try. And I have a fair number. I shouldn't say I have. There are a fair number of people who watch me for whatever reason. You're not mine, but I appreciate the views. Geez, I should monetize, but I'm not going to. There's a bunch over on the Pacific Rim and Australia, Thailand, that kind of space. One guy in New Zealand, a couple Aussies. I listen. I read those comments. So let me know what times work best, because the streams aren't for me. The streams are for you, right? I make the videos for me. So, and January is really all about practice for me. Practice, interacting and things like that. All right, I'm out. Have a great rest of your week. Weekend's coming. See you later.